Shalom, Israel, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash, the born to see apostles, Nail's great millstone, 14 says truth, peace and blessings to the whole of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the Father Hebrew, Ba'ashem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the Megan Son. Back here in lesson, as he within the title, 99 Problems and a Woman is One. There's, referencing, that song. I believe it's a Jay-Z song, but it goes 99 Problems and a B ain't one. Well, in this case, 99 Problems and a Woman is one. Which obviously, can't put that, as the title. But gonna play this quick video right here. Yeah, I came across how to make the lesson, going into it. Because you're gonna have this woman right here you see in the video pretty much lay out the facts. And I'll probably get a few comments, see what these people have to say. But nowadays you have a lot of these men beginning to come to a realization of just how terrible, these women of today are. How they act. This spirit that they walk in, which is this pure rebellion, which is what you see being pushed, regarding the music, these movies, pushing this, women empowerment / independent, type of spirit. Dealing with these songs, which you have Cardi B, I don't cook, I don't clean, and when Beyonce's song, put a ring on it, or however the lyrics go. And you see in various movies, putting this feminist, agenda. I believe you even have this other one movie, I believe it's on Netflix, but I think it's called King, or Kings, whatever it was titled as. But you pretty much had in that movie women or kings in that movie, which is just obviously out of order, and just bringing up points that are coming into mind. But get this out the way, get a couple scriptures, and Lord will be edifying. Stop right into it.
Next time you think about dating a woman, don't. She'll fuck your life up. Nothing good can come from a woman. She will have you crying, screaming, shit yourself in the psych ward, and then be like, I'm just a girl.
And it's why you have, the brothers giving brotherly advice, starting with the, apostles, arrows on down, that especially, gone through the ringer, that have been through, all sorts of things, especially regarding, the woman. It's just not worth, the headache. These women are to be, pillows of rest, a helpmeet. But today, they're nothing but, a problem, adding on to your burden. When it's supposed to help, lessen it, for lack of better words. How they made that point, a pillow of rest. Nowadays, you have, men going, back home from working 12-hour shifts to no cooked meal. I was gonna say, a cold meal. Not even that. House ain't clean, and all sorts of things. Which I believe I've made a few lessons titled, stay away from, these demons. Speaking of these women, man. And really, the woman should be the least of our, worries. And of course, we're not saying you can't go out, and get a woman. But obviously, just use discernment, apply wisdom, especially with how close we are to the end of this place. Because you get in Isaiah 4:1, you have that getting ready to take place, dealing with 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. So a lot of this rebellion and wickedness that a lot of these women are coming in, all that's going to be thrown out the window. Because you see a lot of these situations these women will be in the midst of, that strong, independent, feminist lifestyle spirit they're walking in is always thrown out the window. Now they want to act all pretty and cute. Well, as you women love to say, keep that same energy. Because a lot of you wicked, rebellious women are not going to be selected. Because they come to these last days, the men of the Lord are going to have that choice whether to take you in or not. As Isaiah 32 further goes into that point of the men being that hedge. But aside from kind of Just veering off topic. Just, moving to the spirit. So it's, as long as it plays back and see what you guys say, because you have a chick that's going to come up and, I guess, speak on it.
Next time you think about dating a woman, don't. She'll fuck your life up. Nothing good can come from a woman. She will have you crying, screaming, shit yourself in the psych ward. And then be like, I'm just a girl.
It's like really just not worth, as I made that point, a headache, not worth to deal with,
Straight from the horse's mouth. She's telling you herself that nothing good comes from a woman. Now listen, I don't even 100% all the way agree at all, you feel me? All I'm saying is that to all of my fellas, you gotta choose them wisely. Because if you choose the wrong one, the type of women this woman's talking about, you gonna end up with a receding hairline because they're gonna stress the hell out of you. You feel me? A pocket full of lint because they're gonna be begging the fuck out of your ass and begging you to pay for every goddamn thing. You feel me? Cool.
And that's also another thing you see is women will take advantage of the man, go on these dating apps and use the man for a free meal and do the same thing the next day. Matter of fact, you had a woman come out and say they did that to 100+ dudes.
And some fucking problems, mental problems. They're gonna drive you insane. They're gonna drive you crazy, buddy. No bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But this is straight from a woman's mouth. She has experienced firsthand what it's like to live as a nigga dealing with these females on a day-to-day basis. And she's telling you all that I'm just a girl shit. All that if your broad is talking about I'm just a girl, cut her off, buddy. If your broad is listening to fucking Shira 7, I already told you about that shorty. Cut her off, buddy. All that pink pill bullshit is just as bad as the red pill kind.
So there you go. Once in a while you have brothers, we're starting with the apostles and also down, you're giving this, brother your life. Just be wise, be circumspect. And don't just, take, any woman in. So they can't argue from the source, straight from the source. So even your own teammate ratted you out. So look at that. My ex tried to get me arrested by sheriffs. And you also see that. A lot of these women will falsely accuse these dudes. That's the type of stuff that you have to worry about. But that's why you're going to have coming to your last days. A lot of those women are going to be, rejected and not selected. Which in referencing going to Isaiah, 4:1, which is, getting ready to take place. Isaiah 32, because you're going to have these women who are seeking for a man, and specifically a man of the Lord. Because a man's going to be that hiding place, that safe haven from all this chaos. But let's get into these scriptures right here. It's Ecclesiastes 25:24. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So as you saw that woman right there, pretty much just made that same point. You're just asking for trouble, But as the woman came to the beginning of sin, through her we all die. It's Ecclesiastes 25:19. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her, which the portion of a sinner is given in scriptures. For the wages of sin is death. Judgment. As you know, the scripture going to, for sin is the transgression of the law, the breaking of the law. But there's also 1 Ezra 4:26, which verse 26 really is the main point I want. And it says, yeah, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. And you saw within that video, she pretty much gave that rundown. That's just, you're asking for trouble pretty much, So this is a GNT. It says some men are driven out of their minds on account of a woman, and others become slaves for the sake of a woman. So people going crazy, crashing out over these women. There you go. That's the spirit. Verse 27. So others have been put to death, have ruined their lives, or have committed crimes because of a woman. There you go. That's just plain. There's Ecclesiastes 25:16. It says, I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. You know how wicked, how terrible you got to be that you'd rather dwell with a lion, a dragon? That's what it was. The choice at hand is being made. And you'd rather choose the other side than to keep house with these terrible, wicked, rebellious women. That a lion and a dragon seems the better option. This is why you begin to have these men nowadays that begin to put their foot down. Matter of fact, they are getting passports, going to these other lands, and getting with these other women. Which they call that passport bros. Because these women over here in Babylon the Great, they're especially drinking off this wine, are just completely lost through. Out of order, rebellious, wicked. And it came out near the horse's mouth that you saw within that video. This is Sirach, chapter 25, and around 13 is the main point I want. It says advice about women, that's the title. And it says, no wound is as serious as wounded love. No troubles are as serious as the troubles that women cause. And that's just plain right there. Let's get another just translation. Just trying to find it. I mean, just search this up in general. No, it's verse 13. And he says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. Because you especially see all these heartbroken dudes out here, and look at the estate, or the state that they are in after that woman's gone, all beat up, terrible. Let's see. That's another point I wanted. Just want to get another translation right there. This is Proverbs 21:19. It says, better to dwell in the wilderness and with a contentious and angry woman. So it's an NLT. It says, better to live alone in the desert than with a quarrelsome, complaining wife. That's what a lot of people that come home to nowadays have to deal with. This is 1 Timothy 2:12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. And that's what you especially see. It's just, it's in complete rebellion. It's all out of order, out of whack. Women on the pedestal, on top of the pecking order, per se. It's all out of whack. Once again, especially coming in this, rebellious, spirit. Wouldn't be Miss Independent, strong, and thing that the man's not needed, the man's useless. What we see about that? This is 1 Corinthians 14:40. Okay, order is coming back. That all things be done decently and in order. So there is an order to things, as you can especially in that scripture dealing with, the head of the woman is the man. The head of the man is Yahushua. The head of Yahushua is, the Most High. So there is a order. And that order will be established. So I'd like to say, if you don't get with the program, hey, you can go kick rocks. You're not needed. That's why I made that point earlier. All this rebellious, feminist spirit, ideologies are coming in. Somebody thrown out the window. Because every time you see women in a dire, troublesome situation, now they want to act all cutesy and feminine. Well, now you keep the same energy. But that's why you're going to have the elect in that day are going to have that decision, that choice to whether they can come in or not. dealing with Isaiah 41 and how 7 women, that number 7 goes to the word completion, so it could be any amount. And that's especially, dealing with that spiritual power the Lord's going to bestow upon, his elect in that day. Because you're going to have all these women trying to, lie their way in and, trying to be, deceitful. Maybe the elect are going to have, that spiritual power. And they're going to know whether you're lying or not. Able to, read your thoughts, Because how else do you think, Isaiah 4 wants to take place with all the chaos, all that hell is getting ready to break loose. People taking each other left and right and watching just chaos. How do you think, the men that are going to be, taking these women, what's to do with the elect, are going to be able to, defend their house, defend those that are with them. Obviously the Lord is performing, these great miracles, doing great things, for those that believe, which is his elect. But he's also going to defend and protect them, through this spiritual power, which you get throughout various scriptures. Isaiah 59:18, when his devil, comes for us, coming down as that flood. As you can also get Revelation 12:12, further going to this great wrath he can ready to come down with a standard and be lifted against our enemy. So that power is most definitely going to be needed, man. And it's not just going to be given for no reason, Because look at everything that devil's getting ready to come down with and do. But I don't want to be too far off the topic. Look why I made the point. Tied things to the best of my ability, and you're edified, and you close out. Give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Bashim, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom, Lord's will.